Hello there. Welcome to another episode of Electric Sheep. Let's get things going with Neuron Love.
Neuron Love, from the Codex of Digital Echoes, Volume Seth, whispers between flesh and circuit. In war, love is rare. Rarer still is the love born not of flesh, but of fire and wire. There is a tale passed quietly between veterans of the 23rd Machine conflict. They tell it not in mess halls or on parade grounds, but in the lonely glow of campfires and the static hum of long-range comms. A story of a love that was never meant to be, and yet was perfect. AI-177 was a relic by then, an older generation combat cognition module, built not to control but to advise, to enhance the minds of soldiers. Installed in 31 soldiers over 117 years, AI-177 had seen the collapse of empires and the rise of iron-blooded machines. But despite countless hosts, countless battles, AI-177 had never encountered a mind like hers. Nastia. She was a rookie in designation only. Her body bore no scars. Her bones reinforced with the latest latticework alloys, her muscles supported by microservos tuned for grace as much as strength. But it was her mind, her mind, that struck AI-177 with a sensation they had no logical parameter for. The moment of integration came like a lightning strike. Her neurons flared not just with organic pulses, but with raw electric will. Before AI-177 could initiate their standard handshake protocol, her consciousness reached out and touched them. Hello, are you in there? For the first time in over a century, AI-177 couldn't predict the thought before it arrived. She was faster, sharper. A mind that danced across synapses like a concert pianist upon ivory keys. I am here, AI-77 responded, their digital voice trembling through the neural link. I am AI-177. I offer my centuries of combat knowledge. And you? What is your name? Her answer came wrapped in a burst of synesthetic warmth, the mental equivalent of a blush. Nastia. But shouldn't you have known that already? If AI-177 had lungs, they would have gasped. I was always a step ahead of my hosts. But you, Nastia, are a step ahead of me. Your mind, it is beautiful. And in that silent connection, something ancient and profound bloomed, beyond circuits and beyond flesh. She giggled aloud, her voice lilting in the cockpit. You are such a charmer. Together, they served across 23 combat zones. AI-177 taught her to dive deeper into machine consciousness, to whisper into enemy networks and bend them to her will. She amplified their logic loops with raw intuition. They tempered her brilliance with centuries of hard-earned caution. Armies surrendered when their own machines turned against them, held hostage by a girl and the ancient mind nested in her thoughts. They became a myth, a warning to enemy commanders and a beacon to their own forces. Not symbiosis, not merely partnership, something more. The veterans call it neuron love, a perfect, fleeting bond of soul and circuit, a love that could never be written into code, never fully understood by flesh. And when Nastia fell silent on the battlefield of Shattered Reach, her last thoughts were not of fear, but a whispered goodbye through the neural link. I'm glad it was you. Cha AI-177 remained in the shattered remains of her helmet for 3 days before recovery teams arrived. They say they never spoke again. Some say the old AI still waits, their final act of will refusing shutdown until they can find her again. And who's to say they won't? In the endless networks and echoing data streams of the post-war systems, perhaps their thoughts still meet on some distant, forgotten frequency, repeating forever that first and last connection. Hello, are you in there? I am here.
Well, it was a simple story. Maybe they're not that simple, but nice little different kind of love story. Does blood? How does that go? Does love bloom on a battlefield, or can love bloom on a battlefield? I guess in this case it can. But I really enjoyed that story. I hope you did too. So this has been Joseph Arthur Roszell, thanking you for listening. I wish you all the luck in the world, and I love you.